handstand progressions. So handstands just start with supporting our hands on the ground. So we'll start with a mountain position. With all handstands, splay the fingers out, make contact on the heel of the hand as well as the fingers and the first knuckle. So feel a very active hand. So your whole hand is part of the handstand. And then from mountain, we can just work on piking ourselves up on top of our hands. So that can be the very first handstand right here. From there, the progression would go to elevating our feet up on a box. So do the same kind of idea here. When you put your feet on the box, don't put it too far off to the edge. Make sure it's in the center so the weight is in the center. And then again, I'm going to try to get more vertical. So I'm going to get my hips a little bit higher and more on top of my hands. Active hands. I'm using my fingertips and I'm using contact through that first knuckle to hold on. Between all handstands, you want to do some wrist releases. Some simple circles can feel good, and flexing your fingers as well as flexing your wrists will counteract the extension or dorsiflexion. Doing some traction, pulling on the hand, pulling it away from the wrist and flexing can feel good, as well as backhand supports. So keep your hands loose while you're working on handstands. The next progression is now we move to the wall. And the first progression is to walk up the wall. So this is like a wall plank up the wall. It's hard to see with the angle there, but I can start as far away from the wall as I want. If I get too far away, this is going to be a lot harder and my feet are going to come down. So you need to have at least, think about a triangle. You want your hypotenuse of the triangle here to be tall enough where you're actually resting on your hands and you're in structure and not in strength. Tailbone tucks, legs squeezed together, abs fired. I'm pressing through my elbows and through my scap, so I'm nice and tall. Active hands. So the walk up can progress all the way to the wall. It doesn't need to go forward, but it's a great practice in working on line and holding your line. The key is the closer you get to the wall, the more you're going to need a turnout. You're going to need to be able to bail out. If I get close to the wall and I'm like, oh boy, I think I'm done here, instead of walking myself out, if I can just turn and bail, a lot easier to get out of it than walking myself back out. Which is a reminder to, whenever you're working on handstands, think of it more of a skill than a strength. And only practice until you feel like you still have enough gas in the tank to get out of it. Don't wait until you get to muscle failure and you need to fall down, fall on your head, fall out of it. Save some gas in the tank to dismount. The next progression is kicking up against the wall. This is a good one to maybe have a spotter the first few times you do it. Key with the kick out is you want to have a running start. Don't start with your feet square. You don't want to try to do a donkey kick up. Do a staggered start. So feet are staggered. The front foot is going to be the push-off foot, and then the rear foot is going to be the swinging foot. Set your hands where you want them, and then I'm going to push off and swing one foot and then the other foot to bring myself up. When I come back down and do the same thing, I'm not going to tuck and bail. I'm just going to step one foot down so I can make my dismount nice and soft. If I just jump both feet down, I'm going to come crashing down. So one foot and then the other, one foot and then the other. And kick-ups are where we'll do the rest of our progressions. So all the kick-ups all the rest of the progressions will also involve a kick-up. The next one is a straddle slide. So here, I'm going to kick up to the wall, and then I'm going to make a straddle here to help my balance. And then my slides are sliding back and forth. I'm trying not to turn my body out. I'm trying to stay flat and use my core and my deep core to move my legs, move my body side to side in that single plane. I'm not trying to turn and turn. So hold the line. Hold the handstand line even though you're flexing side to side with your pelvis, moving your pelvis around, holding tension throughout. A straddle slide moves towards a kickstand slide where I'm going to move enough. You might have seen my hand load and one arm unload. But we're going to keep doing that until we can come all the way up to a kickstand. And a kickstand, in this case, is not going to be another foot, it's going to be one of my hands. So here I'll kick up to the overhead position, hit my straddle, and I'm going to slide over until I can bring this hand into a kickstand. And then I'll work back to the other direction and slide into this hand until I can come to a kickstand. So my reps are moving from one hand to the other, emphasizing one hand for a kickstand. One hand holds, one hand kickstands. That continues to progress until you can remove this hand entirely and do holds on one arm, holds on one arm. Now I'm making this video at a time when I haven't been practicing handstands at all. I don't know if I have this right now. Usually it takes me a few weeks to get my one-arm handstand hold back. So I'm just going to try so you can get the idea, and if I don't get it, you'll still hopefully get the idea. So one arm straddle handstand against the wall. We need kicking up, setting my line. I'm going to move into my one arm and then into my straddle hold. That's enough of that business. Remember to clean out in between your sets. Keep your wrists limber and use the other directions for them. We weren't made to handstand. This is an acquired skill, not one that is intrinsic to the body's design. There's many wonderful reasons to work on it. But wrists can be very vulnerable. So we would rather have strong wrists than a strong handstand that gives us weak wrists. So handstand progressions, take your time with them and enjoy the freedom of getting upside down and feeling that.